Hello, welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on Paw Your Way Into Our Hearts. This is a hop that is hosted each month on the third Thursday of the month by Miranda Weber. And we are to scrapbook our pet photos. And I have Uniquely Creative, it's called Willow and Grace. It's a cat and dog collection. Of course, I bought it because of the cats, but back in 2017 we had a puppy, and this is Tucker, and I've talked about him on camera before. He was adopted from another military family who were in over their head with pets and babies, and had just found out that they were going to have their third baby in under 3 years, and they were just overwhelmed. We adopted him, and my daughter Courtney still has him. He is living his best life at his human sister's house and enjoying sleeping in her bed and guarding her from the UPS truck and all the other people who drive by their house. He's quite happy where he's at. I have one background piece here that I'm going to try to make work for this photo. There's a black lab on it, but I have a golden retriever. Tucker's a golden retriever. He is an American field golden retriever, not the British blockhead golden retriever, which means he is slimmer and super fast. And he is super fast. So I'm going to fussy cut that out. Everybody say hello to Miss Penny, who thinks it's time to help. Yesterday she had her tail in red ink. I have a piece of corrugated paper that is left over from my last creation. A couple of these are pretty little studio labels from my label binder, some flowers, and some more cut-aparts, plus a piece of wood grain. I got this pack of 8.5 by 11 wood grain from Hobby Lobby. So I've got that. I've got a stencil. I need to pick an ink. So I'm going to pause. We're going to get started, and I'll be right back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this wood grain paper down into a 4 by 6 photo mat. My photo is only 3 by 4, but I want you to be able to see that wood grain, and it needs to take up just a tad bit more real estate. The other thing I want to point out too is the photo was originally 4 by 6 itself. I cut it down because I took it from the bottom of the stairs. He's at the midpoint of that staircase, and I felt like your eyes focused more on the staircase than you did on the dog who is guarding the staircase. So that is why I cut it down like I did. Now I'm going to go ahead and start pulling out the things, the fussy cut item things that I want to put on this layout. I have this tab that says Good Boy, and I'm going to use that on the layout. It is printed on a burlap type print, which is kind of cool. I know you can't really see that in the photos. I took off the branding strip already, and I have a piece of the corrugated paper that I want to use. Now I'm going to go ahead and just quickly cut out this dog. I'm not fussy cutting it just yet, just getting it off the larger of the larger sheet. And then I'm going to take this other sheet, and there's 3 pieces here that are great for layering that I'm going to also roughly cut out, and I'll trim them down in a little bit. Originally, I was going to use that ginormous tag there, but decided to save that for another time. I actually think that's the second time I've done that, but it's all good. So getting everything moved out of my way. I know that my photo mat's going to end up somewhat right here, and marking where I think it's going to end up. I actually end up pushing it over to the left a little bit more, but I'm just kind of giving myself an idea of where to put this stenciling. I'm using Speckled Egg Distress Oxide, It brings out this bluish grayish color that is in this collection. You don't see a whole lot of it, but there's a lot in the floral bits, and I just kind of wanted to bring that out a little bit over on the left side and the top center-ish. Again, I'm not trying to make a big stenciled area, just enough to add a little visual texture. Okay, so I'm going to decide where this little piece of corrugated paper is going to go. But first I'm going to rough it up a little bit by tearing out bits and pieces from the end, and I'm going to tear an edge. Usually I keep these edges because they make great layering pieces for later. I don't remember if I tossed that one or not. I'm using that Distress Oxide Speckled Egg to just add a little bit of color to that, and I think it's going to end up right here. Ultimately, I end up covering up that tree that is in that printed background, and that's fine. I had intended to do that anyway. Now I'm going to just start getting these embellishments going. I think I did this on camera. I roughed up the edges of my photo mat. Now I'm cutting a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 white piece of cardstock. I'm going to rough up the edges of it with my Some Assemblage Required Distress tool. If you do not have one of these, you should hurry on over to her website, someassemblagerequired.com, and get you one. It's great. It works really well. It's not hard to hold on to, which is awesome. And it's great for the thicker papers like 49 to Market and stuff. So I'm going to put some fun foam behind my large photo mat. I accidentally started to put it behind the white cardstock, and that's not what I wanted at all. But I've got that photo mat, which is actually kind of adding an anchor point for my photo. And then I have that corrugated paper that is further anchoring my photo onto my background. I have this floral bit. It ends up like it's sitting right now. But here in a minute, you're going to see me flip it around because that one flower being upside down was kind of bothering me until I realized that the flower is upside down on the printed part on the background, and so that's okay. I like it this way because it kind of wraps around my photo a little bit. This is a ticket piece that I have fussy cut out and distressed. I'm going to cut down this branding strip, and I'm going to use it right away. It's basically going to be my title. I'm not going to put any other title on here, just that. The only other words it's going to be on here is my journaling, which I add to the 2 labeling or labels that I have. Those are from Pretty Little Studio. I think they were a freebie in one of my orders. And then I've got this other piece here that I'm going to use for layering. These are very reminiscent of 49 to Market pieces. Note that I only roughed up the 3 edges. I didn't rough up the one that was going under the photo. So here's where I flip that floral bit upside down. And every time I look at it, I'm like, ugh, I don't like that at all. There's the tab that says Good Boy. I roughed up the edges of it. I'm going to finish cutting out my labels so that I can get those where I want them on. They're going to end up on my photo. There's going to be one there, and then the other one's going to go kind of below it a little bit. Again, because of the way this photo was taken, there's a lot of what you would call dead space or white space in the photo, and so I'm using my elements to kind of help fill that up a little bit. Now I'm going to just roughly fussy cut out this golden retriever. He's going to end up on top of that black lab. I didn't have to do that. It doesn't really matter. They're both dogs, but you know, I have the golden retriever, thought I might as well try to use it. And I think this is the only piece of pattern paper that I have left that actually has a dog on it. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the dog elements in this. I may just cut them out and send them to a friend because I don't really think I have a whole lot of photos of Tucker anymore. I think I've scrapbooked most of the ones, like from when he was a kitten, or a puppy, sorry, not kitten. My kitten actually just walked up to me to see what I was doing. they tend to kind of hang out with me when I'm editing videos in my room. So that third piece that I thought I might layer under my photo, I'm ending up putting it over the top of that black lab because the golden retriever didn't quite cover him. I flipped that floral bit back around. I'm grabbing these 49 and Market flowers. I'm going to use 3 of those around that golden retriever that I fussy cut. I will be using fun foam underneath that golden retriever. So I think this is about it. All right, I got this layout completely finished. It was a really simple process. I tried to work in that background element in with my layering over here. At first, I was kind of, I don't know, irritated that that was upside down, but then I saw that this one was upside down, so I flipped it back around because I like how that floral bit wraps around that top of the photo. I've got the journaling on here. I added that tab that says good boy, and I'm using that branding strip as my title. And I did get him all fussy cut out and popped up on foam adhesive. The flowers are from 49 Market. They're from one of those warehouse boxes that I bought. And so I thought I'd open up a pack and use them on here. A little bit of stenciling kind of brings in some more of that blue that is just very subtle in this collection, but it's there. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. Make sure that you check my description box below. There is a playlist for the Paw Your Way into Our Hearts hop, and I hope that you will sit down and watch all the wonderful inspiration that you're going to receive from everybody else on this playlist. It is an amazing group of creators who document their pets each month. So thank you for being here, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye.